Hi friends. Today I want to talk to you about what is yoga. So often when we hear the word yoga, we picture these super flexible yogis and yoginis moving into all sorts of postures. But is that what yoga really is? Well, I'm here today to answer that question for you. So the word yoga actually means to yoke or join, union. What is it joining? What is this union? So it's the union of our individual self with the universal self, the universal consciousness, or that energy that flows through all things. So yoga is the union of our individual self with that universal self, that cosmic consciousness. And in the traditional texts of Hatha Yoga, it is an 8-limbed path that we follow. The postures is just one of those 8 limbs. So the postures are just one of the many other tools available to help us achieve a state of yoga. So yoga isn't actually something that we practice. It's actually a state of being. It's a state of being of oneness, of interconnectedness. And the postures, which we call yoga, as well as other tools that are on this 8-limbed path, all help us to achieve that state of oneness. So why do we do the postures? So as I mentioned, it is one of the steps on that 8-limbed path. It's also perhaps one of the most approachable steps to achieving that, to walking towards that path of oneness, especially here in the West. And the reason being that Eastern philosophy talks about how we tend to hold on to a lot of emotions and memories within the physical body. Also, in the West, we're just so busy in our day-to-day lives that we often don't allow our body to process and release many of those emotions and memories. And so they can get stuck in the body, and that can show itself as pain, as discomfort or stiffness or tension within the body. And so if we start from there to move through physical postures to help to release some of that tension, release some of those emotions, those memories that we're holding on to. Now, as we move through our physical poses, we may not be thinking about all of those memories and emotions that have stacked up over the years, but our body knows. And so through the physical practice, we're allowing our body to ease into itself, to release and let go of some of those things that we may be holding on to that we may not even know, that we may not even realize that we're holding on to. And then we feel good. That's one of the reasons that we feel so good after yoga practice, because we've brought movement to our body. We've allowed some of those memories, emotions to just flow through us. And that also helps to kind of open up these subtle energy channels within our body. And so that's such a great starting place for us. Another reason that it's great to start with the physical body is because achieving a state of yoga, union, requires cultivating a greater awareness. And so it's much easier to begin with cultivating a greater awareness of our physical body before we move on to more subtle layers of awareness, such as awareness of the mind or breath, which we'll talk about later this week. So I hope you enjoyed this really brief introduction into what yoga actually is. And I'm thinking of offering you a webinar where we can go dive even deeper into these topics, dive deeper into that 8-limbed path, dive deeper into some of the other concepts that I mentioned today. So if that's something you're interested in, please let me know by either liking this video, writing a little comment, or sending me a message directly. And if that's something that you're interested in, I will be more than happy to put that together to offer for you. Again, I hope you enjoyed this, and as always, I'm sending you so much peace and love.